Okay, so for today's science experiments, we are working with the changing seasons, the materials we use. We have a poster board representing the change of seasons. So we have spring, summer,
fall, winter.
and winter. This lamp is representing the sun. The tools that Samuel is holding is representing the earth. And students will be able to learn how the earth rotates on axis that is tilted relative to the sun. We are going to learn why the seasons change during the year.
So we're going to start with Samuel, who is at spring, and he's going to slowly move the ball or the earth counterclockwise around the lamp to Chad, and he's sitting where summer is. So if we can just go ahead and start here.
And I'm saying
We also have labeled North Pole and South Pole for guidance.
And the middle line representing the equator.
Got it?
yes.
Go ahead and hold on to it. So we're going to go ahead and start the rotation. We're going to start the earth spinning. Can we bring it in just a little bit closer? There you go.
Remember to keep the tip facing.
Samuel.
Yes, ma'am.
Always.
So let's go ahead and spin. Start spinning.
Change into summer.
Change into summer. So we're going to hold it there. Pause. Just hold on to it. So hold it for a second right there. Right there, I want you to describe for me, Chad, the pattern of light and shadow on the ball.
On my side, it's kind of shady, and then when the sun is on top, it's kind of more lighter.
Is it more on the northern hemisphere, shining more on the northern hemisphere, or the southern?
I would say the southern.
The southern? Got it. What season do you think it's in if it's facing the southern hemisphere?
Winter.
So what we need to do, yes, if it's hitting the southern, it would be winter. Where we have you at is summer. So right here, as you can see, if you hold it at this angle just a little bit higher, the sun or the light is actually hitting more of the northern hemisphere, the top part of the equator. Got it? So if it's hitting more of the upper portion above the equator where the North Pole is, the weather is definitely going to be warmer or colder in the summer.
Warmer.
Very good. So now you're going to go ahead and continue the rotation on to Everly.
Keep it always pointing at Samuel, okay?
There you go, sweetheart. That axis has to be just like that, right? So hold it right there. All right, so Miss Everly, now we're into fall. Can you please describe the light where you are and the shadow on the ball at this time of the day? Is it more towards the northern or the southern hemisphere?
Northern.
Northern, great. And why do you think that is? Does the weather start to get colder as we transition from summer to fall?
Yes.
Absolutely. Very good. So if I can have you let's go ahead and try our best. Samuel, you'll have to get it right here to winter. Use your other hand. You can use your other hand. Thank you. So the rotation continues, and we're going to always keep it pointed towards Samuel. There's the axis of the earth. Now pause. Because remember, it's always got to stay pointed towards you. Hold it right here. Is the light shining now more on the southern, over here, babe? Or on the northern part of the hemisphere? You can stand up on the chair a little bit or sit up. Is it
The S.
the S? And the S stands for the south, the southern?
The south or whatever.
Do you think that that's because, is it colder or warmer in the winter?
Colder.
It is colder in the winter, right? So that's why the North Pole is colder, is because The sun, when the earth is at this axis, is actually shining more on the southern hemisphere. Is that correct?
I wanted just to point out something. So now that we're in winter, look at all the shade on the northern side.
So that meant
That's why it's winter, because it's always what?
it's
Colder. And the
And the
sun
sun-
on the
summer
opposite side of the earth is
summer.
summer.
Because
So we have
summer's
opposite
hot
seasons.
and winter is colder.
Yep. Good job, guys.
All right, so if we think like a scientist, many people believe that the seasons change because the earth moves closer to and farther from the sun during the year. Where do you think this belief comes from? Any guesses?
Keep rotating it. How are you guys? Slower. The sun does not move that fast. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Many people believe that the seasons change because the earth moves closer to and farther from the sun. But did we learn in this science experiment that that's the truth?
No.
No. Okay. Where do you think this belief comes from? Is it because it gets warm? They think because the closer you get to the sun, is the warmer the weather is going to be?
Yes, because it's
Okay.
So why do you think we have this equator line?
trying not to put it all the way down. Maybe because the other half of it is hotter and the other half is colder.
Okay.
In the spring, it's a
So the closer, if you guys didn't know, the closer you get to the equator, it actually gets hotter. Okay. It's way too hot. It's like degrees that are
They can kill us.
I have
will burn you. Yes.
How come? So the spring is, I think, hotter. I think the spring's hotter and the fall is a little colder. Because summer from fall gets cold, fall from winter gets colder, and winter to spring it gets a little hotter.
So what two seasons would be cooler in a sense? You guys can answer together.
Fall
winter and fall.
winter.
Fall and winter. What two seasons would be warmer?
Summer
Spring and summer.
Spring and summer. Okay. Good job, guys.
Thank you.